The corridor lights flickered like they were powered by a hamster on its last ounce of motivation. And I was already regretting every career choice that had led me to an outpost orbiting a tired red dwarf. The air smelled faintly of metal and something sweet, like fruit that had made questionable life decisions. I told myself it was fine, that I'd run diagnostics, send the report, and leave before anything dramatic happened. Naturally, that was when something dramatic happened. A shadow slipped across the far wall, and before I could convince myself it was just a loose cable doing interpretive dance, she stepped into view. She looked mostly human, if humans had long, tapered ears that curved elegantly toward the back of the head and eyes that shimmered like silver catching starlight. Her boots made no sound, which felt rude in a place already too quiet. I opened my mouth to say something professional, perhaps, "Good evening," or, "Please don't kill me." But nothing came out except a noise that sounded like a scared toaster. She tilted her head at me, then her lips parted, and she bared her fangs. I made a heroic attempt to jump backward, but my foot found a stray tool case and I executed an accidental half-spin that would have impressed dancers on nicer planets. She blinked at me, puzzled, as though she couldn't understand why I was trying to merge with the wall. Look, please don't eat me," I managed, raising my hands. Her brows rose. "Eat you?" she repeated, as if I just asked whether she planned to juggle starships. She stepped closer, too close, close enough that I could see faint bioluminescent patterns shifting beneath her skin, glowing like constellations waking up. I braced myself for a dramatic end, maybe something poetic. Then she reached out, tapped 2 fingers to my chest, and announced something in her language. It sounded like a cross between a purr and a command. A soft chime echoed from the station's aging comm panels. My wrist console vibrated with a notification I definitely had not subscribed to. The translation came through a beat later. "You have been claimed. Asterisk asterisk." I stared at the text, then at her. Claimed? By who? Why? Is there a return policy? She inhaled sharply, as if embarrassed. "It was instinct," she said. "A greeting. I did not expect it to register." "Oh, great," I muttered. "Your version of hello is my version of accidental marriage." Her lips twitched, just shy of a smile. "Do not worry," she said. "It only means several rival clans may already be hunting you." I blinked. "I feel like that's the opposite of helpful." She extended her hand. "If you want to stay alive, come with me." And because survival is a shockingly strong motivator, I took it. The escape shuttle shuddered like it had been assembled by someone who believed screws were optional. I clutched the armrest, which was only loosely attached to the seat, while she moved through the cramped cabin with the calm precision of someone who had survived far worse transportation. Her long ears flicked subtly as she checked the navigation holo, the shifting blue light casting silver across her eyes. I tried to look brave. I suspect I looked nauseous. "We will reach the drift corridor in 3 minutes, she said. "Perfect," I replied. "Plenty of time for me to panic creatively." She gave me a look I was starting to recognize, the mix of amusement and mild disbelief usually reserved for puppies that run into windows. "You humans exaggerate everything. Only when we're in mortal danger." "That is most times," she said. The shuttle shot into the drift corridor with a deep hum, space folding around us like a shimmering tunnel of glass. I tried to focus on the view, but my stomach wasn't convinced this was the correct emotional response. She sat beside me, her presence oddly reassuring despite her earlier fangs and claiming performance. "So," I said, attempting casual conversation, "these rival clans, they're unhappy I'm claimed." Unhappy is a soft word. They may try to disassemble you. "Like, emotionally?" "Physically," she said, "though some enjoy emotional damage as well." "Great," I sighed. "Wonderful cultural experience I'm having." Her lips curved. "You are handling it better than expected." "That's because I still think this might be a dream brought on by spoiled protein bars." She adjusted a console and retrieved a sealed ration pack, biting it open with a swift snap of her fangs. I flinched. She noticed. They are tools, she said, not merely for feeding rituals. So they're multitasking, Fangs, I said. Very efficient. She seemed pleased. Exactly. The drift corridor suddenly jittered, the tunnel flickering. Warning glyphs flared across the controls. She tensed. They found us. Who? The emotionally and physically disassembling ones. Yes, hold on. The shuttle veered sharply, and I immediately regretted having organs. A shadowy vessel emerged behind us, its hull lined with pulsing crimson patterns that made my skin crawl. She slammed commands into the controls, guiding us through an erratic maze of fractured jumps that felt like being shaken in a cosmic paint mixer. You could have warned me, I shouted as gravity flipped twice in a row. I did, she said calmly. I said hold on. That was metaphorical. It was literal. The hostile vessel fired a crackling net of energy that snapped just past our hull. The cabin filled with the smell of overloaded circuitry. She growled, an elegant but very alarming sound, and yanked a manual lever I was pretty sure existed only for emergencies. The stars snapped apart. Everything went dark. Then, with a violent lurch, we reappeared above a neon-lit orbital bazaar, the shuttle spiraling until she corrected it with a few brutally confident adjustments. We lost them, she said, breathing out slowly. I peeled myself off the seat. Fantastic. Now I only need a lifetime of therapy. You humans are dramatic, she said. You literally kidnapped me to save my life. Kidnapped is a strong word. Claimed, I offered. She smirked. Better. The shuttle docked with a soft thump. Outside, lights glowed in shifting colors, crowds moving like a living river. She turned to me, her long ears angled in determination. We must move quickly and stay close. I hesitated. Because of danger? Because, she said, you attract attention and trouble. Not my fault, I muttered. She took my wrist anyway, her grip firm and warm, and together, we stepped into a world that felt too bright, too loud, and far too ready to change my life again. The descent into her clan's ancestral world felt less like landing and more like being swallowed by a planet with opinions. The sky shimmered in deep violet tones, the forests below glowing with bioluminescent veins that pulsed softly like breathing. Our shuttle slipped through a canopy of luminous branches, touching down on a platform shaped by living stone. I stepped out cautiously, half expecting the ground to scold me for existing. She walked ahead with familiar confidence, her long ears angled toward distant sounds. Stay close, she said. I've been staying close since the moment you accidentally claimed me, I replied. At this point, I'm practically your shadow. You trip too much to be a shadow. That's fair. We entered a cavern whose walls rippled subtly, as though alive. A dozen figures emerged from the dim glow, her clan elders, long-eared and silver-eyed, their expressions unreadable. Behind them, more shadows gathered, rival clans who had clearly beaten us here. One of the elders stepped forward. You brought the human, he said. The prophecy stirs. I leaned toward her. Please tell me I'm not part of a prophecy requiring heroic sacrifice. I can do symbolic sacrifice, maybe something involving snacks. She squeezed my wrist. No sacrifices. Not today. The rival clan leader stepped into the light, his fangs long and gleaming. Release the human. The ancient bond must be broken. Cleared my throat. Just so everyone knows, the bond happened because she said hello in the world's most stressful way. A murmur spread through the crowd. Apparently this was not considered helpful commentary. The clan leader growled. The prophecy says a human will alter our fate. We will not let your kind infect our bloodlines. She moved between us in a flash, her cloak snapping like a shadow with opinions. He is under my protection, she said. And he has already changed our fate. The cavern lights pulsed, the living stone responding to the rising tension. For a moment, everything held its breath. I stepped forward before my sense of self-preservation could protest. Look, I get it. I'm weird and human and very breakable. But she risked everything to keep me alive. Maybe destiny isn't about blood or rules or prophecies. Maybe it's about choices. And I'm choosing to stand with her, even though this situation is absolutely terrifying and I would like that noted. Someone in the back snorted. I couldn't tell if it was supportive. The elder studied me, then her. Slowly, the living walls brightened, casting a warm glow. The bond has already reshaped the old paths, he said. To break it now would do more harm than good. The rival leader hissed, but the decision was sealed. The crowd withdrew, tension dissolving into reluctant acceptance. She exhaled, shoulders relaxing as she turned to me. You spoke bravely, she said softly. I spoke loudly, I corrected. Bravery was accidental. Still, she murmured, you chose to stand with me. Yeah, I said. Turns out I'm getting used to this whole nearly dying thing. Her smile was faint but real. Together we walked back toward the surface, the forest lights shifting gently around us. The air felt different, lighter, as if acknowledging something had changed. At the shuttle, she paused. Your life will not be the same. It wasn't the same the moment you bared your fangs at me. She laughed quietly, a sound warm enough to challenge the cold stars. Then stay, she said. Not because of the bond. Because you want to. I looked at her. Silver eyes, long ears catching the breeze, strength layered with unexpected gentleness, and realized I did. Not out of fear or claiming or prophecy, just choice. And as we stepped together into the violet-lit world, I understood that I hadn't just survived her world. I had become part of it.